I'm happy this morning.
Oh, you are? Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah,
I thought that the fact that your hall is going to be a mistral is
yeah.
taking the shine out of your day.
We are keeping strong. We are
You are
keeping
keeping
strong.
strong.
We are keeping
Okay.
strong.
And you said what? You bringing women into Commonwealth?
But what if it happened? We never thought it was possible for Kat and Conti until
Did you know
a
that?
few months
Did you
ago.
know that Commonwealth was a mistral?
It used to be a mixed up.
Yes.
I didn't know that. So
Yes.
it would even be easier for you.
All right. And you know why they have to take the women out?
Hey, what will happen will happen.
So you bring them back. We did.
Uncle Bo White says we did. You have to understand. But you know, Uncle Bo White, your dressing this morning reminds me of Kanye West. I must say.
Well, minus his money. A little bit of his money in addition to it would have been
Would have been made your joy complete.
Would have been perfect. So just a reminder that my one-man show, A Crazy Ride, is on 1st and 2nd of September, and then the weekend after that. That is me on stage. You better make it a point to join me. You would have a time of your life. Oh, and please come to celebrate the fact that you are a human being first before anything else. Dan, it pays to be nice to everyone, but there are people you have to avoid if you want a great and fulfilling life. Here they are. 1, the person who does not wish you well. There are people who are hoping and praying that you will fail and be miserable all your life. These are not people you have offended, but they simply do not like you and do not wish you well. They can concoct stories about you just to get others to dislike you. Forget about winning them over because it is not going to happen. Just cut them off and get on with your life. 2, the person who does not respect you. There are people who, for one reason or the other, will not respect you. These are people who may have no regard for people from your ethnic background or race, or even people with your religious background. For them, nobody from that background is worth their respect. The important thing to note is that their disrespect is born more from ignorance and lack of exposure than anything else. Such people often want you to believe that even though they have no respect for your kind, they are making an exception for you. They say things like, I cannot stand Ghanaians, but you are different. Such people are not worth your attention, but they can undermine your sense of self-worth, and you are better off without them in your life. 3, the person who has no faith in you. This is the person who believes that you are doomed to remain poor and a failure and insignificant in life. And when you tell them about your dreams, they insist that you can never be what you say you could be. Indeed, they laugh that you even had the audacity to think that you could aspire to be anything more than a failure. They are not worth your attention. You may not always be able to avoid them since you may find them in your very family. But as much as you can, make them and their views irrelevant to your life and to your aspirations. 4, the person who keeps hurting you. There are people who seem to make a habit of hurting us. Often, they don't apologize for hurting you, but even when they apologize, they will still go on to hurt you again. They hurt you with your words, they hurt you with their actions or inactions, they hurt you with their attitude and so on. Call the attention to the fact that they have hurt you, and they either dismiss your complaint or they take offense. You are well advised to cut them off. 5, the person who is always undermining you or stabbing you in the back. The interesting thing about people who undermine and stab us in the back is that they can do so only when we allow them into our lives. When we keep them at arm's length, it becomes difficult for them to continue undermining and stabbing us in the back. 6, the person who is gossiping about you. This is a person who is always telling others about you and painting you in the worst possible light. This is a person who cannot bear to hear people speak well of you. The thing to note is that if you keep this person close to you, everything he says about you will be taken as the truth by others who are not that close to you. Cutting such a person off is necessary for your own self-preservation. 7, the person who has anger issues and is violent. It is a fact of life that if you associate with a violent person, you become violent yourself. If someone who has anger issues is your friend, sooner or later, you will begin to manifest anger issues yourself. Whilst not despising them, It is also in your interest to keep them at arm's length. 8. The person who consistently uses your name for his own gain. This is a person who goes to someone who holds you in high esteem and tells that person that you need a soft loan when you know nothing about it. Or he goes to someone whose friendship you cherish and tells the person that you need one favor or the other. Often you don't get to know what this person is doing in your name. But whenever you become aware of it, it is safe to assume that what has come to your attention is not an isolated case. In your own interest, you have to put a distance between you and this person before he destroys your reputation and the respect people have for you. 9. The person who envies you. This is a person who thinks he's in a competition with you, even though you are not in a competition with him. This person doesn't understand why you should be making it in life. He resents any good thing in your life, and any good thing that happens to you makes him or her miserable. The interesting thing is that this person's envy can drive him to undermine and stab you like the previous person whenever the opportunity presents itself. This kind of person is often not easy to make out because he's good at covering his envy. But if you know what to look out for, you can see through his hypocrisy. 10. The person who betrays your trust. You may forgive someone who betrays your trust once and is repentant and ensures that it does not happen again. But if the person makes it a habit to betray your trust, then you are not wise keeping someone like that close to you. 11. Someone whose values are opposed to yours. When you relate closely with someone whose values are opposed to yours, two things are likely to happen. 1, you'll be compromised and disgraced. Or 2, you will disappoint those who trust you and look up to you. If you are not a thief, how can you escape being branded a thief if a thief is your closest friend? It is said that your friends show your character, so you have to be sure that those you associate with share your core values. And 12, the person who brings negative energy. It is easy to recognize this kind of person. He comes whining and complaining and looking at only the negative side of life. He may seem harmless, but he saps energy from you. Spend a moment with them and you feel that life is not worth living. Avoid such people. And then those are 12 people that we are all better off without in our lives.
Thank you so much, Uncle Bohite. I'm so glad that listening carefully to what you said, you are not in any of those categories of people.
I try not to be.
All right. You're doing your very best. Thank you so much, and have a great day. We can't wait for the 1st, the 2nd, and the 7th and 8th of September. Is it 1st, 2nd, 8th, 9th?
It's 1st and 2nd, which is the first weekend.
Yes.
And then the second weekend, 8th and 9th.
Thank you. It said 7th or one of the other ones. Okay.
At the National Theatre.
All right.
Oh, and talking about dressing, you are always looking good. But today, have you seen Augustine?
Hey, today, Augustine home, in fact. Has taken us somewhere else.
You've got to find out whether he's opened a bank and received some liquidity support. I mean, we've got to find out.
Uncle Bo, really? Thank you so much, Uncle Bo. Well, you definitely know what to expect.